Hello, Wes Estes here with Remax. I had the good fortune of interviewing Thom Pakura, and he is the owner of Dancing Kilt Brewery here in Chester, Virginia. As you know, I have been doing several of these with local owners of different operations and businesses, and this is one that I really enjoyed because I had the opportunity to go out there to his place last Thursday and him show me around and everything. And I have some of the footage that I will share in this interview as we talk with Thom. Thom has a long biography here of a lot of important stuff, but I'm going to narrow it down because I know what you folks want to see. You want to see the actual interview. But let's just say Thom was a local person. He went to Clover Hill High School. He ended up going to Georgia, I think it was. That's where he met his wife. He has three lovely children. His love for what he's doing now came when he traveled back and forth to Europe. His parents actually moved to Europe, and he had the opportunity to travel over there. He enjoys skiing, and that's how he became involved in some of the communities and some of the local pubs that were over in Europe. And he saw how things were done. He brought it back here. His concept started back early in the 2000s, and I think in 2018 is when he actually started the process of Dancing Kilt Brewery. And at 2020, I think that's when they officially opened, only to quickly be shut down by the governor because that was right here at COVID. So he talks a little bit about that in our interview when we get there. So without further ado, I want to introduce Thom Pakura. All right, Thom. Hey, it was great coming out and seeing you last Thursday. I mean, your place is super impressive. The one thing I forgot to ask you, when did you start or how did the whole thing come about here? Your start time.
In 2018, we started building out our space. And then once that was done, with all the approvals and everything, February 2020, we were licensed to brew. 2 weeks later, the governor shut us down. So that put us into how are we going to deliver to the customers? So we shifted gears to a curbside pickup business model and started canning flights to go. They're little 8-ounce cans in a 4-pack, just like you would have a flight inside the brewery. And the customers were able to take that home and celebrate there. In August 2020, we were allowed to have people inside and open the tasting room with limited seating capacity. And then last year, we were allowed to have people actually sit at the bar, which was kind of exciting.
So wow, the whole COVID thing affected you right when your doors basically were open from
Right.
almost the start, almost, right?
And basically, we didn't advertise because we had a line of people waiting to get in, and we were turning folks away. So we initially did not start trying to crowd people into places that we were trying to help with the pandemic and be conscious minded there.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now you have a tagline, and make sure I get it right here. Making a happy home for yeast. What does that mean? I mean, talk to me about that.
So there's 4 ingredients in beer: water, yeast, hops, and malt. Yeast is one of my favorite parts, and they're the ones that actually make the alcohol. So if you create a happy home for them, they actually do their work. If you don't, you'll get off flavors and things like that that may not be wanted in a beer.
Gotcha.
So you have billions of yeast, and they're just chugging away and making beer for you. Um, an ale is a top fermenting yeast. A lager is a bottom fermenting yeast. Ales make in about 2 weeks, lagers 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow. Okay. And so
So,
that was that setup you had. It almost looked like a chemistry set in the back there,
right.
right?
So we,
That
we propagate the yeast. We start them, we grow them to the volume that we need, and then we pitch them on brew day. Not many brewers do that. So that's kind of sets us apart.
so you've won several awards, is that correct?
Yes, we got 4 awards last year, and then this year with the Virginia Brewers Cup. We got a second place for our British bitter. What was kind of fun about that was we were looking around and seeing what people weren't brewing, and it's like nobody had any bitters. So it's like, let's brew one. So came up with a recipe. The competition came out, asked the guys, what are we going to put in for competition? So we put the new beer in there. So it was the first recipe, first time it was brewed, thrown in for competition, and the judges, they were kind enough to give us a silver award for that.
Nice. Now, was there a big competition, or was it people from all over the state, or just locally, or?
So if you look at this, there's 315 breweries in the state of Virginia. The competition was open to all the breweries in Virginia.
Wow.
It's one of the largest competitions in the nation. 11 local brewers took home 18 medals, and we were one of those.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, that's really cool. So your place, now you're located in Chester, and we kind of talked about that. It's funny because people across the river like don't even know what is Chester. So, I mean, what's the best way to get in touch with you? What are your hours of operation? Talk to me a little bit about that.
So Chester is located on Highway 10 and 95. So if you take the Hopewell exit, go up one traffic light by the Hardys, turn right. We're right there by Rose's Pizzas on the right. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday and Wednesday, 2 to 7. Thursday and Friday, we usually have music, have extended hours until 9. And then Saturday, noon to 7.
All right, so you have music, you have live entertainment.
Yep.
Is that local artists, or is that just?
Right. We try to support our community and the folks that play good music.
Well, that's good. It's good to know. So you not only do beer though, right? I mean, you do other things like wine and
Right.
cider.
So we have a brewery license, which allows us to manufacture beer. We're allowed to sell whatever we manufacture. We also have a winery license, which includes wine, mead, and cider. We have 16 taps for beer, and we have currently pouring 10 wines.
Wow. Okay. So the whole process with wine, is it like, is it a lot different than the brewery, or is it the same thing, or?
It's similar. The yeast convert the sugars into alcohol, and you bottle it. With the beer, you actually boil it, and you make in something like tea. Cool it off, and then pitch the yeast.
All right. Well, this is all good stuff, Thom. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. How would someone get in touch with you if they had a question or they needed something? What would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So they can call the brewery at 804-318-1381, or they can email us at info@dancingkiltbrewery.com. You can also find Dancing Kilt on Facebook, and we have a website, dancingkiltbrewery.com.
Perfect. And I'll put this up on the screen too, so that folks can have a chance to see that and gather that information. Well, Thom, thanks again for taking the time out of your busy schedule, and looking forward to talking to you some more and coming out and seeing you. So have a great day, and thanks again, sir.
Thanks, Wes.